page 29 and 30. Yes. Yes. What was it? Is it called personal inventory? Is that what it's called? What's it called? Just says inventory. Just says inventory. All right. So you finished it.
I did.
You don't want to finish it? You finished it? All right.
I finished.
All right. I finished it. Okay. All right. You want to share something about what you feel about that?
I tried to be as honest as I could be.
Okay.
And not necessarily, I kind of went back over time, not like maybe this week or last month. I need to do better.
You do that. Okay. All right. All right. Anybody else? Anything you want to share about that?
Well, I'll be honest, and I guess I'm gonna probably start trying to do that, but it says, do you keep a prayer list in place for the person, a prayer list in place for the person concerns on the list?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been keeping a list of
Okay.
my prayers and things.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that's been recommended.
Okay. All right. That's one of the things we're going to start tonight. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think if you know when I completed the inventory, I found some things to be lacking as well. I think that if we're honest, we'll all find some areas that we need to improve in this process. If not, we'd be winning, and if we didn't need some improvement, we'd be winning thousands of people for Jesus right now, wouldn't we? So the purpose of this inventory was really to try to help you get an assessment of where you are, so that you can, and a picture of where it is you need to be. Because if you understand where you are, then you know where you've got to go and where you've got to grow. All right? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to start. We're going to pair up. So I need you to pair up with somebody who's not a relative, not your spouse, same gender. And I want you to do this. We're going to go over your homework assignments individually. In your book, on page number 10, there's a list there of the items that you were supposed to accomplish. Okay. So you're going to tell the individual that you pair up with whether or not you did those items. And if you did, they're going to draw a vertical line in the diamond next to that task.
Oh, you wasn't supposed to do that yourself?
Well, you were supposed, okay, all right, okay, let me correct. You were supposed to draw a vertical line through it when you did it. They're going to draw a horizontal line through it to verify that you've accomplished it. Okay? So what you pair up, discuss whether or not you completed it, verify if necessary, do your memory verses. It's perfect tonight. Do your memory verses. Give you about 10 minutes to do that, and we'll come back together.
Not necessarily every day, but 4 or 5 days. Some days I'm able to go. I won't read that early. Because I was trying to just go and retain it. Just, you know, this kind of, just for the sake of it. So I don't read that. But some days you gotta stay up and go for another reason. Sit in the house. Meditating. Listen to music. Okay, then it says, I've been right at the end of the book like 34 times, you know, like when it says something about yeah, I got it since I see it. Then you will very much fruit. Okay, you will very much fruit. Apart from it, you can get that.
We ready? They got 3 more minutes. No, you got 3 more minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I know where.
This is my part.
Oh, that's not, that's second.
Oh, what was your page at 9:30?
I know it.
That's so funny.
No, that's John 15:5. That's why I have to write it down.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then you-
Any man to come out here.
Yeah.
Let him deny himself.
Okay, so that's great. Okay.
Daily.
And I actually think it's fine.
Yeah, and it is, it's very well, somebody come out here and deny himself and take a look. Daily. See, I need everybody's name.
And I did it's certain ones, they go higher, but the ones just too low. Just by that, and then she explained the second one. So the last two I didn't know. I do that with my work, but here we have.
Right.
One that you did.
I don't, I mean, it's not that I don't want to, it's an opportunity. It's just not, I'm free, They said pray once a week for a prayer party. You want to be my prayer party? Before I do, like 10:30. Six, I try to get 6. I can function on it. But anything less than 6.5.
Y'all ready? Done?
Oh, so this is mine?
Yeah, it goes to the people that are in it.
All right. Everybody good?
Pretty good.
All right. I want to remind you that you are to complete all exercises, learn the material before you come to the group session. The purpose of discussing material in the group session is to reflect on it, to explore the subject matter, and to learn how to apply it. Okay? So we can't adequately discuss what you don't prepare for. So I encourage you. All right. All right. So we're going to stay together tonight since we don't agree. Oh, hey, let's stay together. And I want to begin with some questions. Question number one: who is a disciple? Who is a disciple, huh? One that holds to his word. Okay.
Usually somebody in general.
In general. What's a disciple? Who is a disciple in general? What does a disciple do? The follower. Is it just to follow?
No, sir, sometimes, if you're going out there trying to witness to somebody, you're not necessarily a follower then.
Okay.
Because a disciple is supposed to be that also.
Okay.
You try to get more disciples, so.
All right.
So you're not following them, you sort of, it's just, if you can get them to, come around and listen to you.
But a disciple in general is a follower. But is it just a follower? I mean, is there any qualifiers on that following?
He denies himself.
Okay.
All right.
Ain't that the word? That's the word.
Okay.
That's part of what he said.
Well, did a lot of people follow Jesus?
No.
Well, I mean, yes, but I'm
Follow
thinking
because
there
it's
was
really-
three, there was John's disciples, the
12.
Pharisees' disciples, and then Christ's disciples.
Okay. So all of them had their
Right,
disciples,
right.
right? Okay. All right. And so there were a lot of people who followed Jesus, but would all of them be considered disciples?
No, sir.
So just following, I mean, the Pharisees followed him, didn't they?
Didn't track him.
They were trying to trap him. So just being a follower alone isn't enough. There has to be something else added to that follow. And that's what I'm looking for. There's a word that I'm looking for. Huh? So someone who obeys, all right, they're a follower who obeys. Okay. And to really follow, you got to obey at least while you're following, right?
You should. If you follow, you would think you're obeying.
But the word that I'm looking for is committed.
Oh, okay.
So a disciple is a follower who is committed to whomever it is they are following, whether it's a teacher or whether it's a group, whatever it is. If it's an organization, I mean, a sorority, whatever it is, they're committed to that thing. Okay? All right. So a disciple needs to be committed. Okay. What were two reasons Jesus chose disciples? On page 12.
To preach and to have authority.
To do what now?
To preach
Mm-hmm.
and to have authority
Okay.
over demons.
Okay. See, that to preach and to have authority to drive out demons, I kind of lump that into one. What?
You want him to be with him.
All right. So the two reasons he wanted disciples was what now? To do what?
To be with him.
To be with him and to go and to send out.
Okay.
Okay? To be with him and to send out. That means they had to have a relationship with him, to be with him, to learn from him, to sit up under him, to commit to him, to hear his instructions and hear his teachings, and have a desire to want to obey. But then he also wanted them to go out now based on what it is that they had learned from him and exercise that and draw other people in. Okay? So, how many demons you driven out this past year?
No, I'll be honest. I haven't done that demons.
So he chose disciples because he wanted them to be with him, but he wanted to send them out to preach and to have authority to drive out demons. What did Jesus do when people began to follow him?
He taught them.
Okay, taught them. What about page 13? Luke 14, and I believe 26, 20, 25 through 27, I believe it is. What did he do when folks began to follow him?
He gave them what it took to follow.
He gave them what it took to follow him? Okay. Why do you think he did that?
Because if you're going to be a follower, then you need to know what the qualifications were.
Okay.
Because that's going to make you decide whether or not you really going to do
Whether
it.
you really want to do it or not.
Yeah.
So why do you think people just wanted to follow him in the first place?
They saw miracles.
They saw miracles, you know, and they heard the prophecy about the Messiah, and they wanted to be in on it, right? Okay. So he's now discouraging them.
The way it sounded like it.
Yeah, he's really discouraging them. Because what he's telling them is that if you want to follow the Messiah, there's a cost associated with it. And if you're not willing to bear that cost, if you're not willing to be committed to this thing, you're wasting your time. You might as well go on somewhere and go do something else. Okay? We need to have an attitude that we're going to be committed. Let me tell you, this is going to be challenging. You know why it's challenging? Because the devil does not want us to do this. I guarantee you. You won't believe what I came up against today, this week, because of this lesson that we're in right now. If you notice, there's not 14 of us in this room because so many things have come up against people and other things have come in and, priorities have become more important. Things have happened that have caused people not to be here tonight because we are under attack because the enemy does not want you to move forward in this. You're a threat to him when you really make up your mind and decide that you want to be a real disciple for Jesus, not just somebody who comes to church on Sunday and has a good time. But you want to really fulfill the purpose that he has for you. You become a threat to him. So you can expect things to happen. You might have been here this week, but you're going to have some challenges next week. And you're going to have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to allow those challenges to defeat you. You're going to have challenges. So it's going to be harder for you to get up and do these studies. There's so many things that are going to come at you that's going to try to take your time and other things. But you got to fight through this. Because this is a spiritual warfare that we're engaged in right now. And I believe we're going to win.
Amen.
All right. So he wants to discourage them. Okay. Number 2 here. Let me see here. Got the pages messed up. All right. Do I have any volunteers who are willing to share their answers on page 17 regarding who or what may be motivating them instead of their love for Christ?
I do.
Okay.
My family is part of my priority and my priority and trying to help them and things like that. That's why I do a lot of things I do.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I'm not talking about my immediate family, but it does include my immediate family.
Okay.
But also my mom and, all that stuff she got a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Is it wrong to have that motivation to want to do?
I don't think
for
it's
your
wrong,
family?
but we still need to make Christ a priority. I realize that as I've been studying that, but I still got to make Christ number one. That's the thing that I may not have been doing,
Okay. Okay.
I know that's been going on.
Okay. Anybody else want to share? I know Stacey.
accomplished in my life, and I'm not where I see myself being.
Okay.
Then in the reflection, in the next part of that question, I realized that, obviously seeking God is the first thing. I need to be concerned with all of the decisions that I make.
Mind you telling me to help me get better, but tearing me down just because I didn't do it your way.
Okay.
So I try to.
Because people have a tendency to try to put you in a box sometimes when you do that. Okay. I said, and this might shock you and amaze you, but when I answered the question, I said I put down having the praise and appreciation of others. Yes. I have a tendency, which I must fight, to become frustrated and discouraged when I feel my efforts are not appreciated. My sacrifices are not appreciated. You find that hard to believe, don't you?
I can believe that.
Yeah. There's an internal struggle that goes on inside of me. I've been fighting it for a long time, but it's there. It's there.
I only have that one that's in my family. though.
I was
My
gonna say,
wife
I
made
can
it.
see that as a father,
Uh-huh.
like for fathers, and maybe even from others. I can see that as something that would bother you. Like, I do all this for you, and
I just
you
want,
didn't really appreciate me.
yeah, I just want it for my wife. The rest of them, don't bother.
You just want Brenda to appreciate you.
All right now.
I remember that.
End of story.
The rest of it just like, how they say it goes, like water off the duck's back or something like that. I don't worry about it too much now. I
But-
used to, but not now.
But see, we have what I have to work at and change my thinking is that when I don't get appreciation for the sacrifices that I made for man, then it multiplies the appreciation that I'll get from God. And so I would much rather have his appreciation
Amen.
than yours. But within me, there is this struggle
Right.
that I deal with, that every now and then I'd like for you to say, I appreciate you, and not take you for granted.
I'm sorry, Pastor, I haven't done that. I know you're not talking about me, but I just, after I thought
I'm not talking
about
about
it,
you.
I just take for granted you doing what
Yeah.
you want me to do. But you're right, I understand that.
And the other thing that frustrates me is when I feel like people are just using me.
Oh, yeah.
That frustrates me. Yeah, that aggravates me. But I still let them do it.
Yeah, we do.
But I still let them do it. Yeah. But it does. There's a struggle inside of me. It makes me, because I know, there was a time in my life when I cut off my whole family. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. Because they're users. Don't be bother users.
Take. Don't be
Yeah. Okay. What are three things or characteristics Jesus says should be in a disciple's life? On page 18. Three characteristics. Love, obedience, and fruit. So, love of who?
Others.
Hmm?
Not yourself, others.
Love of others? Just love of others? Just, what you say? Love of him.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So,
Yeah.
so our love of Christ should motivate our love for others.
Right.
And if we love God, if we love Jesus, if we love Christ, then we demonstrate our love for him by, how do we demonstrate our love for Christ? By obeying. And if we love him and obey, then fruit should be automatic. Okay? All right. What kind of fruit?
Good fruit.
What's good fruit?
I wrote that down somewhere, it's Galatians or something to put it fast.
Love, joy, peace.
But I thought that wasn't the fruit that we were talking about here.
Oh, it's not? It's the fruit of
I got the fruit we were talking about, or people, other disciples, other followers.
That's right.
oh. So the fruit is people.
The fruit is the fruit of the Spirit in us because of our love for Christ and our willingness to obey produces the fruit of the Spirit in us. And in that fruit is a seed that we pass on to somebody else
Gotcha.
to help them to become another vine.
Gotcha.
And so God is just not satisfied with us producing the fruit of the Spirit, because really the fruit of the Spirit will come out of, is what? Whose fruit is the fruit of the Spirit? It's his fruit, isn't it? Okay? We're just allowing his fruit to manifest in us. But it's not something that we produced.
Right.
It's something that the Spirit has produced inside of us. Because if we could produce that kind of attitude and that kind of spirit, then we wouldn't need the Holy Spirit.
Gotcha.
But now we must position ourselves because we have established this relationship with Christ, and we have this Spirit in us with the ability to allow the fruit of the Spirit to come out of us. Now we must position ourselves so that that fruit can produce some seed that can be eaten by others and cause them to grow. So God's he's just not satisfied with you flowing out the fruit of the Spirit if that fruit isn't overflowing and planting some seed in somebody else. Okay. All right. Can someone name two things that are required to obey Christ's command? What do you think it takes to obey a command? What does that mean? What do you think those two things are?
It's love, it has to be.
Love. What about page 22?
I knew it was.
What about page 22 in your book?
I knew it was in there.
Knowing his commandments and doing.
So you got to know and do. How do you know?
Read the Bible. Study the Bible.
You got to get into the Word. So when you get into the Word and you find out what the truth is, then you have an obligation to do it. If you don't get into the Word, you won't know, will you? So you could have a commitment to obey, but be obeying the wrong thing because you don't know the truth. And God will see your heart, that your heart's right. You want to do the right. You know, but God saw Paul's heart, and he knew that he saw Saul's heart, and he knew that Saul was committed to him. Saul was just operating in error because he didn't know the truth. And not knowing the truth caused him to actually be counter to what God wanted to do, because he was ignorant of the truth. And so we have an obligation not to be ignorant. All right. Let's turn to page 26 of your book, and can I get a volunteer to share their responses to the scenario questions regarding their actions if Christ commanded them to do the things listed. Very first one here, it says, Jesus called his disciples to leave what they were doing and to follow him. Andrew, Peter, James, and John left their fishing businesses and followed him. Matthew left his job as a tax collector. Describe something that would be difficult for you to leave or do if God asked you to. Everybody want to volunteer? Okay.
leaving this church and leaving my job.
And leaving your job would be difficult.
Very,
Okay. Why?
because I feel at home here.
Okay. I wasn't talking about church, something's done.
Oh. I like, because I prayed for my job. I asked God, could I have the job? And God allowed me to have the job. And so I feel like leaving it, I feel like I'm leaving people in limbo.
I was selfish.
What'd you say?
I was selfish. I put down, I hate to leave the company of my present life, my house is stolen.
Well, I put down my comforts. Because I don't want to go to Haiti. I don't want to go up in the mountains of Jamaica. I don't want to go to Africa. I want to stay right at 7 Buckingham Way in my king size bed and my widescreen TV with the air conditioning on and the refrigerator right around the corner.
That's what I don't want to leave all that.
I love it. I love folks, and I want to be a part of a worldwide ministry spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, but it has to be by TV because I do not want to go to those locations.
FaceTime.
Just being honest. But if God required us to, we have to make a choice if we want to be obedient in the right compass. In the right compass. Did you write down not moving north of the show? Is that what you
I did not. I didn't. No, I did not. I was just thinking about the time when he did have me quit my job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
That was the hardest thing for me to do, very hard for me to do. Because I hung on to that thing 3 months, 4 months after he told me to do it, and I was still hanging. So,
Now see, here's the attitude that we have to have, though. We have to have an attitude that we trust God enough that if He's asking us to give up something that's important to us, there's a reason for it. And that He has something better in store for us. And we can't move to the better until we let go of what we're holding on to right now. Sometimes there are transitions that we have to go through where we have to hit a valley situation. But that valley situation is only there to propel us so that we can go to another mountaintop. But we got to go through that valley to get there. But we got to trust Him. And sometimes when I try to hold on to things that God has told me to let go, those things turn into monsters. They do. They do. They do. So you just got to let them go and trust God. Because everything that we have in this world is temporary. You're not going to have that job for the rest of your life. You ain't. If you did, you'd get sick of it. Trust me. So everything we have in this life is temporary. It's for a season. for us to transition to another season. So we have to trust God. All right? Okay, Jesus told Peter to catch fish, take a coin from its mouth, and pay their taxes. What would you do if God asked you to do something that seemed unreasonable or that did not make sense to you?
Question if I'm gonna hire.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, that's what I did when he told me to put my name.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a friend, she was studying for Master Sergeant, and so God told me to tell her, congratulations, Master Sergeant, and Master Sergeant had not came out yet. And I'm like, Lord, I'm scared. But I'll do it anyway, because to me, when I'm scared the most to do it, I feel like that's him. And
Okay.
so I did it, and then she made Master.
All right.
I was like, look, I mean, that's his word, not mine. So if it didn't, I was just so scared. But I did it.
Yeah. Scared me.
Like, I was like, oh my God, okay.
Because there'll be times when you go tell somebody something and it ain't that they made Master Sergeant. It may be something else.
Oh yeah, I've had to do that too.
And you're uncertain about how they're going to receive it. So that's why I said I would question whether it was truly God, but if it was him, I would know better. Then Jesus told his disciples to get a coat. Now here's one. Jesus told his disciples to get a coat for him, and if the owners asked what they were doing, to say, the Lord needs it. So if Jesus told you to go get a pickup truck from the corner of Racetrack Road and Beale Parkway, with the instructions that if anybody asks you about it, you tell them the Lord needs it, would you do it?
Jesus.
I'm thinking that when I get there, the key's gonna be handed to me and everything, thank you.
Because I think if you're a man, it wasn't in, they
See,
might have.
the thing is that the Bible is a written word that's spiritual for us. So what they were doing, they were walking with Jesus. So when he spoke, they did. So we spiritually walk with Jesus when he speaks. We'll do it.
We should.
We should.
We should do it. We should do it. We should do it.
But the reality is, we doubt ourselves. We doubt,
That's what I
is
put.
that really,
Not sure
are you
about my
telling me
faith.
to do that? Are you telling me to say that? I don't wanna be wrong in doing so. I mean,
So let me ask you this question though, Stacy. When your father calls you on the telephone,
my actual dad.
your actual dad calls you on the telephone and says, Stacy, can you come over here? Do you question whether it's him?
No, and I get the point of knowing God's voice.
I think. Well, I think it's a little more than just knowing his voice. It's having that relationship, which I think is more important and more crucial. Because if you have that relationship, then when you are asked to do something, you have an understanding then that what he's asking you to do isn't a sin.
But then I think too, though, Pastor, it comes from experience, though.
Okay?
So you gotta step out there initially to develop this track record, so to speak, for lack of a better term, with God, to know that when he tells you to do something, well, since this is not the first time you've asked me to do something, I'm gonna do it. But I think initially, like stepping out there that first time is kind of, you're hesitant, yeah.
Okay.
You're hesitant initially.
Have you ever felt like God was leading you to do something? You did it, and it didn't work out.
Yep.
And that's why
Yeah.
I think that's when it comes to, again, examining also your motive
Okay?
of why you're doing what you're doing. And sometimes it could be to the point that, I don't know, that you see, you think you see something, or you might, or you have such a feeling about something that you think that that's God, you know, telling you to do something. And so again, it comes back to me to examining motives.
Okay.
You know, why do you think he's telling you this? What good is gonna come out of this? Or what's in your heart? Why would this be the thing of love, or would it not be, you know, or how are you gonna do this? Are you doing it in anger, or, you know, I guess, and so I know that sometimes if you want something so bad, sometimes you can hear from God and think God talking to you, and you can go ahead and do it, and then it don't turn out, you know. So that's what I'm saying, that relationship it's important, but then still also your motive behind it too has to be. I think a lot of times you have to look at yourself
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Where are you at that particular time? Now I think sometimes when something just comes out of the sky and you're not thinking about it, you're not meditating on it, then I'm thinking, okay, he's telling you that you need to go do something. Because it's an emergency, or it's something that needs to be taken care of. So I don't know. I mean, that's been my walk that I've kind of seen, that I have to really check, okay, am I meditating on this thing so bad that I wanted that, or, you know, that type of thing.
Okay. So you have to examine the motive behind it.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time, I bought this car, got this great interest rate on it, got it at a good deal. I just knew it was the Lord was lining this thing up for me. And we bought that car. It turned out to be a nightmare. Because it was too small. We bought a car that was too small for all the kids that we had. It was a dumb move on our part, okay? But we wanted another car, and we believed that this was a car that God was making available for us, and everything that looks like it may be being made available for us by God ain't God. So I think you really got to have that relationship to know the heart of God, because I think sometimes, at least with me, I found myself wanting something so badly and believing that this God was lining this thing up for me, but it wasn't him, and it wasn't what he wanted. It wasn't what he wanted. And so you gotta really examine your, as she said, your motivations and your relationship with him. Because God is concerned about all these little things, earthly things that we are worried about and we're concerned about. I mean, he concerns about them. He knows we have need of them. But God's focus is always on souls. And so he's going to lead you and direct you into a position to where you're going to be able to be a blessing to somebody else. That's his focus. It's positioning you to be a blessing. And if positioning you to be a blessing means moving you out of job A into job B, it's going to do that, because his focus is on who you can affect, who you can put that seed into that's going to cause them to become a vine. That's where his focus is. And so all these other little things, we just have to trust him. He says, if you focus on the kingdom, then I'll take care of all this other stuff for you. And so our attitude has to be, okay, God, whatever's happening, whatever's going on, how is this going to position me to be more effective for you? And that's where I want to be. I want to be where I can be more effective for you. If it means if I have to give up something, in order to be more effective for you, you can have it. Because you're going to give me something else. Even if it's a lesser position, if it means a lesser position where I can be more effective for you, I'll take it. Because I want to position myself where I can be most effective for you. All right. We got 5 minutes left. All right. All right. Jesus in this study that we're in, Master Life, our primary goal is to abide in Christ. We want Christ to be the center of our lives, to be the focus of our lives. We got to empty ourselves out of everything else and make him a priority. Then we've got to learn to obey his commands. Okay? Now, Master Life is based on the premise that obedience to his lordship is the only way that we can learn to be true disciples. And it focuses in, this Master Life study that we're in, focuses in on 6 disciplines. 6 disciplines that we must discipline ourselves in. And you're going to find those disciplines in every lesson, or at least in every week's lessons that we do. Those 6 disciplines are to spend time with the Master, to live in the Word, to pray in faith, to fellowship with believers, to witness to the world, and to minister to others. If you'll notice on page 10 in our walk with the Lord, those 6 disciplines are there. And every week you're going to see those 6 disciplines. And in those 6 disciplines, you're going to see activities, assignments that are going to be there to help you to grow and to develop in those disciplines so that you can be a more effective disciple and discipler for Christ. Now, it talks here about learning by doing. Learning by doing here. All right? So these assignments, these my walk with the Master assignments, are based on Christ's commands. And they are modern applications of concepts and principles that Jesus taught. And they're going to help you to obey his commands and do his will. And the most important learning we will have in this study that we're in isn't going to occur in this room, but it's going to occur outside this room when you are doing your daily studies and spending time with him and filling and completing these exercises and interacting with one another. Okay? Because remember now, we want this process not only to be to improve our vertical relationship, but it's also got to improve our outward relationship with one another and those who are unsaved. Okay? All right? So prayer partners. So in this week's lesson, there was some talk about having a prayer partner or praying for somebody. All right? The idea now is that you need to identify a prayer partner. Okay? You can't get one. If you can't find one, I'll help you. But you need to identify a prayer partner tonight and hook up with them. And that prayer partner now, you and them are going to be conversing every week. You're going to have an outside assignment to do something with your prayer partner every week, in addition to praying together occasionally. Prayer partner cannot be a spouse, cannot be a family member, needs to be somebody of the same gender that you are. Okay? Because we don't want to create no opportunities for no mess here.
I knew that was I don't want that.
Getting divorces and hooking up with your prayer partner now, because they understand me, and I can talk to them, and I can't talk to my spouse. We ain't having that. We ain't having that. So you need to identify your prayer partner. Okay? And I want to call your attention now to the prayer covenant mentioned on page 43. On page 43, you'll see a prayer covenant. I've got some sheets here. If you want these, I will email them to you. Co-pastor made some prayer covenant sheets for daily, weekly, and she didn't do a monthly yet. But I think it talks in that lesson about the prayer covenant, where it asks you to identify daily requests that you're going to pray for, weekly things that you're going to pray for, and monthly things that you're going to pray for. And you write those down when you ask for it. And if there's a biblical promise associated with the prayer that you're at, write that down as well. And when you get the answer, you write the answer down. And when you got the answer. So it'll be like a little prayer journal that you're going to be keeping. So, and the reason for this is because we pray and ask God for a lot of stuff. But we don't always appreciate him for what he does do. But we certainly remind him about the things he ain't done yet.
Right.
Okay? And so we need to keep a record of, okay, God, I asked you for this. Did you do it? And if you did it, what did you do? Because maybe what I specifically asked for isn't what he specifically did. Now, I think it talks in the book about that. You just can't say, in the book, I think it gave an example about praying for auntie somebody's to bless our dollar. That's too general.
Right.
That's too general. So you need to be specific about what it is you're asking for, so that you will know when your specific request has been fulfilled. Okay? All right.
So you're going to email that to us?
I can email these to you if you would like,
Yes, sir.
or you can make your own.
That's good. I know, I like that. They got one in the back of the book, but I hope she modeled it on that one.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I expect you did, but that's already that's wide. And
Yeah, the co-pastor got like 9 pages. She planned on making it.
that's okay. I mean, but I understood because I could
she's creating a book to put her in.
Yeah,
So.
oh my goodness. A notebook. Well, that's good too. A binder or something.
So you,
I just put it in this binder right here with the
Yeah.
glass.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
okay. So you need
It's not that big.
so you need to do that.
Yeah. Because he's answered some of my prayers.
All right. So then you'll have you will have a record there.
Yeah,
You know, and sometimes it's good to go back and recall what he has done, because if he did this, he's able to do that.
Amen.
All right. Okay. All right. So. Where's the page 4? I'm sorry, I got my notes mixed up here. No, I ain't got them mixed up. Did I pick up with this? Where's the last page? Got your homework beside it. All right. 1, 2, 3. There it is. All right. So, your assignment for next week is to complete My Walk with the Master on page 31. And then complete the daily lessons, which when I say it for next week, this assignment you're doing this week. Because we'll have our session next week to talk about this week. So whenever we come together, you will already be 3 days into the prior week's lesson. Should be, if you're on schedule. Okay? So for this week, what you're working on this week, so you can prepare for our next session, is to complete page 31, and then the lessons, the daily lessons from page 32 to 51. You need to identify and become acquainted with a prayer partner. Okay? And I already told you they must be a member of the group, cannot be a family member. Okay? Got to be same gender you are. Get acquainted with them. And what I want you to do this week in your meeting with your prayer partner, in addition to whatever the assignment requires you to do, is to practice the Disciples' Cross presentation. Okay? The presentation of the Disciples' Cross. Okay, in your book here, as I said before, you will see, like for this week, Living in the Word, you see the 6 disciplines. You see the assignments under those disciplines. You'll notice that each one of them has a cross next to it. That cross and the coloration of that cross is a reflection then of which aspects of the disciples' cross is being addressed in that particular assignment. So like here on the very first one, you'll notice that the center is colored in. That's because this assignment focuses on you abiding in Christ and making him the focus of your life. You'll notice the one below it now has a bottom portion colored in. That's because that assignment's involved with it. This is on page 31. That assignment is involved in with your foundation into the Word. Okay? If you look, the one below that, fellowship. Of course, it's covered to the right of the cross. And witnessing is colored to the left of the cross. And then this ministry to others, you see it's completely filled in because it involves every aspect of the disciples' cross. But as you complete those assignments, you are to draw a vertical line down through each of those diamonds. And then when you get together with your partner, now the people you meet up with here to check your assignments may or may not be your prayer partner. Could be somebody different. Okay? Because and we will probably change that thing around a bit. It'll be kind of hard for you two if the other 2 guys don't show. But we're trying to change that thing around again so it's not meeting with the same people every time in here. But in your prayer group, in your prayer partner that you're forming this bond with will be the same person. Okay? All right? Any questions about that? Any questions about your assignments? Any questions about this journey so far? Are you learning anything? Is your relationship improving? Are you spending more time with him and in the Word?
Have to now. If we're going to do this lesson, you want to do.
Okay. All right. Any questions? All right.
Did you wanna know who our prayer partner will be, or is that something just between us?
I just want to know you got one.
Can you have one?
Can you have one? For now, just have one. For now, just work on that one. We are going to expand. We're going to expand a bit. But for right now, let's work on the one. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna make a suggestion.
All right, make a suggestion.
I suggest that we tear pieces of paper, put our lady's name in, and then half the ladies pick a name. As long as it's not their name, and that would be their prayer partner. And then the men could do the same thing. Or, no, I mean, right now you just have 2 men.
Yeah.
That's right.
We
So
already
now they hooked up.
Yeah, we already talked.
They hooked up.
Okay.
You know? And I see a hookup right here.
Actually, I'd already talked to you.
Oh, you already talked to Fred? Okay, so there's a hookup there. All right, so since you talked to, well, see, didn't in one of the first lessons I think this week it mentioned about a prayer partner. So the idea was whether or not you were going to take the initiative to go out and do this without me having to tell you, hey, you need to do this. I gave you a list of all the people. So hook up. Do what you gotta do. If you can't, you don't have a prayer partner by the end of this week. I need to know about it. Because you can't effectively move forward without one. So I just need to know. So I'm going to assume. No, I ain't going to assume. If I don't hear from you by Friday, I'm going to assume you have it for next week. I'm going to ask you that everybody identify who your prayer partners are. Make sure you have one. Okay. All right. Any questions? Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this evening. And we ask your blessings upon us. We pray for your strength and your guidance and your anointing as we proceed through this journey, this development of Master Life, the Disciples Cross. I pray, God, that you will give us the insight, the wisdom, the motivation, and the desire that we need to be effective for you. The Bible tells us, God, that it is you who gives us the will and to do. You empower us by your Spirit to do what we cannot do on our own. So we are without excuse if we abide in you and allow you to abide in us. So we thank you now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, okay. Look at you. You know,